Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm really, really excited to have you join us for the PTC Onshape technical session. On the stream, we have Alexandra, Alexandro, and Bernard from PTC. Alexandra, and Bernard, do you want to introduce yourself?
Great. So I would start. So my name is Bernard. I'm the Onshape Education Customer Success Director of PTC here in Europe. I'm very excited to be today with you, and I wish again to all of you an exciting competition time using and learning a tool like Onshape, which is being used in industry. So I think this is great that you acquire skills that are needed in industry. And with that, I would hand it over to my colleagues, both of the Alex, who will be leading the technical session today for you.
Hello, I'm Alex Kazaku, Alexandru Kazaku, and I'm a senior education application engineer here at PTC. I'm going to deliver the presentation and the training on Onshape here with my colleague Alexander, and hopefully you'll enjoy it and you'll learn how to use Onshape and the main differences between Onshape and the rest of the CAD options.
Yes, thanks. So my name is Alex. I'm doing apprenticeship here by PTC. I'm since 2 years, and I do so many workshops in Onshape, and yes.
Awesome, awesome. Again, thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Alexandra, and thank you, Alexandro. So we'll leave the stream, and the floor is yours.
Okay, so this is Onshape. In order to get to register to Onshape, you need to go to onshape.com/edu and create an account, activate your account, and you're having access to Onshape. Onshape doesn't require you to install anything, and there are no files here. So we're not going to speak about files or licenses. We're having users. So this is my user. You have a lot of options under your account. You can configure your preferences. The mouse control can be matching other software. I have Creo, for instance, as my big experience is with Creo, and you can configure all this when you create your account. So as I was saying, in here we don't have files. We're no longer speaking about files. We're speaking about documents. So everything in Onshape is structured in documents and folders. You can see that I have here a lot of folders, and all these folders contain different documents. In order to create a document, you have to click Create, and I'll create a document. Let's just name it solar. Okay, and now we're in this document. The really cool thing about Onshape is that you can collaborate with your teammates and with your teams in real time. So this is very easy to do when you create a document, or you can also share a folder with them. You just click the share button, sorry, and I'm going to share this with my colleague. Okay, so this is my colleague. And when you're sharing a document, of course, you can share it with the team. You can structure your team in Onshape. And whenever you want to share something, you can share with the full team. But I'm going to share it just with my colleague. He will be able to edit because I want him to help me with this document. He will be able to copy. I can allow him to link document, and this means that he will be able to use parts or that are designed in this document in other documents. I can also allow him to share this further with others or not. And I also can control if he can comment on this document with me or not. So I'm going to press the share button, and Now this document is shared with my colleague that will help me with this design. Okay, so please keep your questions till the end of the presentation, and hopefully at the end of the presentation we'll be able to answer most of your questions. We're also going to answer your questions on Slack, but after this presentation. So if you have further questions, feel free to drop them in the Slack channels. Okay, so Onshape is a fully parametric software. It is delivered as a SaaS platform, so you don't have again to install anything. So the platform will actually work only parametric. That means that you need to create a sketch and then whether extrude it or evolve it, or you can use the sweep that will actually extrude is when you actually lift the profile, and I'll just create a very fast profile. So sorry, I'm I'm used to work very fast. I selected the plane. I'm pressing the sketch button. I can also press Shift S because there are lots of shortcuts. I'm going to hit N on my keyboard to view normal to this plane, or I could simply press the top in here, or I could select view normal. These are just a couple of options, but the easiest one is the keyboard N. And I'm going to just make a rectangle for now, and I'm going to dimension it. Again, I'm trying to use the buttons from here so you can all see what I'm doing and keep my hands off my keyboard. I'm very used to the shortcuts. Let's go for something like this. Okay, so this will be my first sketch, and this can be, let's also add a hole in the middle. I can edit my sketch. I'll hit again N on my keyboard and C for circle, or I can just get the circle from there. And let's add here a slot for, let's go for 40 millimeters. And this will be the place where the main shaft will start. So this will be the plate, the base plate of solar flower. And I'm going to extrude this. So extrude takes the sketch and raise it normal to the plane. I could also, and I'm just going to show now, the revolve option. The revolve would just take the sketch and revolve it along an axle, and you can go for a full extrude or just for a side extrude in case I would need this command. I'm just showing now, and I'll be showing the sweep later. So let me just extrude this. It will be, let's go for 25. I'm fine with that dimension. Okay. Okay, I can see that my colleague Alexander joined, because you can see here how many people are on the document, and we'll see later on how he's doing with the design. At this point, I want to create sweep, and I'm going to select the front plane from here, or I could select it from here. I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to view it normal too, and I'm going to start with the line. Okay, and from this line, I want a spline. So it will be something like this. I can control the ends of the spline, and you can see that there are some white dots here and here, and I want this one to be vertical. So right now I have that vertical sign next to my cursor, and now I know that it's vertical, and I can make this one as well vertical, but it would not be that nice. So let's let it at a specific angle, or maybe get it closer to the base and something like this. Okay, I just want to have an interesting shape for this one. So this will be the path for my sweep, and I'm going to use this for the sweep. So I'm going to use this sketch. So I'm going to unhide my sketch one that was used for the first extrude, and select this circle, this circular face, and I'm going to sweep, and that will be the sketch that will be swept, and the sweep path will be this side and this side. And you can see that the sweep is there. I don't want to add it to this plate, as I want it to be able to rotate. So this will be two parts. This is the base plate, and this will be the main axis or the main shaft. So I will just select here new. If I wanted to remove, I have the option to remove, and you can also intersect. Okay, I'm just going to select this surface from here and extrude it further as it will be needed. I can drag this by hand, or I can just type here 60 millimeters. Okay. Another very useful, and you can see here that I have two parts, right? In the same document, I also have my assembly, and I could also import by clicking the plus and import. I could import whether an image or a video file or a PDF or pretty much any other software part. So I could easily import pretty much anything in here. I'm going to create a shell, as I want this to be empty in the middle. I want this to be like a tube, and the wall thickness will be 10. Let's try 7.5. Okay. I'm going to make a revolute as well. So I can see here that Alexander was following me. So there's a follow mode. I will show that a little bit later. So I want in this end to have something that will allow the rest of the part to spin along this cylinder, but also in any direction. So it will be a ball ended intermediate part connector. I'm going to create a sketch here. I'm going to hit again N on my keyboard. I'm going to get to the place where I want to design. And I'm going to use the geometry that's already there. So I'm going to project this. I can use this one. And I'm going to start from here with construction geometry. Construction geometry is used to create any lines that are not part of your design. This is not a must in Onshape because you can also use as a revolution axle, you can use any part of your geometry. Okay, let's start with the circle. Just make a circle here, and then I'll just get another line. You can see that there are some symbols next to the cursor. In this case, it's perpendicular to the line that I started from and on the circle. Okay, let's give it a couple of dimensions. I'm trying to avoid again my keyboard. The axis, the construction line will actually allow me to replace with a diameter. So instead of just the dimension between the line and the center line, it will transform it to a diameter. And I'm going to add 20, and this one will be 40. And I'll also add this dimension here as 55. Okay, so I'm also going to draw a line from here to the end of the circle, to this part, as this will allow me to rotate these two areas uh, around this axle from the middle. Um, any geometry that's blue means that it's unconstrained. So you can see that I have a blue point here that's free and can move. Everything that's black is fully constrained. You mainly want all your geometry to be fully constrained. So I'm just going to use revolute. I selected the surfaces that I want to revolute, the faces of the sketch, and then I can use whether this line, or I could use just this cylinder, and it will create a new part. Okay, at this stage, I will ask my colleague Alexander to continue with the top parts, Alex, if you can please start
Yes.
designing the top of this flower. It seems that my dimension was not correct. You can measure anything by just clicking on it. So this was 25, and I need to edit the sketch, so I can easily edit the sketch and change the dimension from here to from 20 to 25. Okay. Now my colleague will work on the top part, and you can see here that he started a new feature. We can also follow him and see the same orientation. You can see here that it's following mode, and I can see his cursor with purple. But let's let him work on this sketch, on the sketch for the next part. And let me just drill a couple of holes. So I want a couple of fixing holes on this plate. And in order to do that, there are many ways to do that, but one of them, and the very easy one, is to create a sketch on this face and just offset the edges of these. I'll just go get normal to this, and I can offset all these edges at the same time. And let's say that we offset them with 25 millimeters. Okay, this new sketch will allow me to use the points, the 4 points on the corners as holes, um, center points, starting points. So the holes will be simple, will be through. I can also have a counter bore or a countersink. I can use pretty much any standard I want. And I'm going for, let's go for metric 16. I'll just click on the corners, and I have all my holes prepared. You can see that my colleague already created a new part, so we have a new part here. I'm also going to add to this shaft a stopper here, so something that will actually limit the translation, so it will not stay on the bottom of the shaft. So I'm going to sketch here. I'll do it normal. I'm going to use this face, so I'll hit use, and I'm going to also use this face. So apparently it doesn't allow me to use that one, but I can hide the part one, the main part, and I can use this, not that one. I can use this one. I'll just delete the extra one. Okay, I have it here. Now I can hit N again on my keyboard, and I can go for a corner rectangle, and I can start from here and make something like this. I'll use dimension. D is the shortcut for dimensions, and let's go for 5 millimeters, and on this other direction it will be 15 millimeters. I'll just hit OK. You can see that I didn't bother cutting the rest of the geometry or anything like that, because I really should not concern about that. I'll select this one and revolve. I'll select the revolute axis, and I'll use this as a revolute axis, and there we go. I want it to be an add this time, and I want to add it to this part, so not to the bottom part, not to the floor, but I wanted to add it to this part. And now it's added to this part. If I select part 2, you can see that it's part of it. I can add a round here, of course. Let's make it larger. I can also add a chamfer on this edge, and something like this would fit. So I can see that my colleague already is already starting to shape the things here. This is just a part studio. So this is a part studio. Part studio is a place where we design all our parts. If we want to assemble all these parts, we need to get to the next tab, to the assembly. Okay, so I still have a couple of things to do here. I want to round this edge, and it will be a 5. And I also need to round the edge of this face. So I will just hide the part 3 and select this chamfer and round it. There we go. It looks good now. Let's see how Alexander is doing with this. I'll be starting the assembly until he continues with the next parts. So the assembly, of course, is empty. I can click insert to add parts to it. I have the part studio here, and I can whether click on part studio and add all parts at the same time in their same position related one to another. And I advise you to do that because we have a really cool way of mating or keeping parts in the same position. So if you need something not to move related to another, one related to another, you can use the group command that will group the parts, and all their degrees of freedom will be locked to the rest of the parts. I need all the parts. I could just select one of them if I needed one of them or things like that. I can also grab parts from other documents of mine. And I can also include standard content, but that will be later on. Okay, so at this point, I added all my parts to the assembly. I need to fix one of the parts because otherwise all the parts will move. So I'll just fix the first part. And now you can see that all the parts have no relation between them. In Onshape, we have a fasten mate, revolute mate. This allows just revolution. Of course, this is like bounded. Revolute mate allows revolution. So I will be using one between this and this. And of course, this one and this one. We have also the slider mate that allows only translation. So there will be no revolution, only translation. Planar mate that allows to move on a plane. Cylindrical mate that allows to rotate and also slide on the same axis. Pin and slot, a ball that we will be using, and parallel mate, and tangent mate, and the group that I was already telling you about earlier. I'm going to select a revolute mate. You can see that when I'm going to on a specific surface, you can see that this part appears. So I will be just selecting this one. This is a mate. This is what we call a mate. So it will be this one. I can see that Alexander asked me something. I'll just finish this one, and now they're bonded together. So all their degrees of freedom are taken except rotation. Okay, so Alex, is this correct? Let's see. Let's give it a check. Okay. Let me answer him. So you can, if you want to add a new comment and assign it to a colleague of yours, you can add an Aaron and then type the name of the person. Oops, sorry, too many fingers on the keyboard. Okay. I have too many Alexanders. So the thing is that you can tag a surface as well, and I can click here and see the exact orientation that he was looking at when he asked me this question. So I'll just reply to him. Okay, so I just asked him to make it larger, and I can also check because I can also resolve it because I have resolved his question. If you assign something, so again, and I will add a comment, add, okay, you can make it an assignment, and I can tag a surface, or I could add a makeup, and in this case I will make a makeup. I will add a makeup and ask him to maybe expand it to this side, to this area. So okay, and this will be added now, and I'll just type here like this, and I'll make it an assignment, and he will also receive an email if he's not on the document. Okay, now let's get back to our assembly. So now I want to assemble this part in here. It will also be a revolute made, and it will be this one and this one. So I'm just selecting the mate connectors that I want to use, and Onshape will automatically align them. I can flip in case that one of my mates is in the opposite direction. I can flip it, but in this case it was not the idea. Now I need to add another mate. In this case it will be a ball mate between this ball and the ball inside, but the ball inside is actually the same as the ball outside, and I'm happy with this, so I will just click OK. And now I can pretty much see that this can move in pretty much any direction, so it will be able to follow the sun, and this will actually allow it to rotate. Okay, so let's see how this looks like. This is great now, so I'll be able to add this to my assembly. So I'll insert from this document, and in this case I will just add this part. Okay, so I need to mate it, of course, so it will be revolute mate because I want this to be able to rotate as well. So I'll be using this one with this one. Okay, it looks great. It can actually rotate, and I'm pretty happy with this, even though it does overlay. So that's not a great mate. So probably I was supposed to change one of the mates. Let me just check again. And I can, for instance, I can go for this mate, and this is the correct one with this one. And now it looks great. I can also check if it works like this, if it does what I want it to do. Okay, you can also limit the I can also offset the connection or limit it if I want to have a minimum and a maximum that this will be rotating. Now I can make a pattern of this part. So I'll just make a circular pattern. I'll select this one, this instance. The axis can be pretty much any of these. It will not be 2, it will be 12, not 12 because 12 will mean a full circle. It will be 10. Let's make it 9. So they will have more room between them. And there we go. Now all these can move and rotate. So all I need to do is drag them with my mouse. This also allows them to move. And I was telling you earlier about I just would like these corners to be rounded. So I will ask, and in this moment, I will be using this document. So I won't go in the Spark Studio, and I will ask Alexander. It will also be an assignment, and I can also add an image and ask him to, not this one, I can ask him to rotate these edges to add some fillets there. Okay, now we're good. And now all I need to do is add the bolts here. So I will go for insert. It will be a standard content. I'm happy with ISO. I want to add ISO screws, and they will be at metric 16. The length, I can change the length, I can change the material, but I'm happy with this one. So I will click insert from here, and I will just look for the hole where I want to place them and click it, and the bolt is there. There you go. Now I need to add the rest of 3 bolts. I can hit key on my keyboard to hide the mates connector. I can hide all mate connectors, and mate connectors on the standard content are visible. And now I actually need to replicate this. So I'll select replicate. I'll select the instance that I want to replicate and the part where I want it to look for other locations. It was supposed to first click that one. And apparently something is wrong here. I don't know exactly what at this point. Okay. I'll just try this once more. Replicate this one and this part. Apparently is not finding the rest of the holes. I don't know why that happened, but I can show you another cool trick. That's copy paste. I know everybody loves copy paste. So I'll just paste 3 more balls here, and I'll use fasten mate and select this edge from this one and this edge from this one. And I have that one fastened. If I want to add multiple fasten mates, I will not click the OK from here. I will click the OK from here, and it will start a new one. And I want to add the next one here. And I will be selecting this face. I'll click again this one, and I'll add this one here with this one from here. And now I'm done, so I will click the green mark on the sorry, on the main button. Okay, so let's see what's wrong here. Okay, so he added some chamfers here. I can just to, if I'm not happy with these ones, with these chamfers, I can just edit this chamfer and select this region and this one as well. I can simply delete this because it was not something that I was looking for. And I can do the same here, delete this one. And I can just go back in time when he just revolved this. And I'm just going to change the color. Alexander, if you can please rename the parts that would help a lot. I can just edit appearance and make it a white color so I can see the edges, and select this edge and this edge from here and add a round. I want a larger round, so something like this would be great. And now I can go back and we can see that one of his rounds no longer works, because that was when I actually added these two rounds, that was replaced by this one. So he had two rounds and only one is needed now. So this looks good. This looks really good to me, and I can change the color back. There we go. Thank you. I will edit appearance and let's make it a darker color, something like this. And now I have my model, and it also moves in different ways. I could add also some limits to, as I said earlier, I can add limits to any of the mates. So if I want this mate to move just at a certain angle, I can add those limitations. If you want to get a better rendering, let's say, of your model for some PDF file or something like that, you have a couple of ways to do that here. One of them is shaded without edges, so the edges will no longer be visible. I can also hide the origin, and you can select all your parts and right click and select use um, best available. Um, so that will actually show the best view of your parts. And you can also turn perspective on, and there we go. Okay. So now another very important thing that I would like to share with you is the App Store. When you create your account, you have access to the App Store, and the App Store contains a lot of really cool apps. Okay, sorry for that. That you can use. For instance, this one is free for 30 days. This is free form, so you can use Phi to create random surfaces. You have Cam Kirimoto that will allow you to convert your to prepare um, the G code for whether a 3D printer or for a laser cutter or for a CNC milling. You have a lot of other really cool things here, including AR. That's under rendering, and that's AR-based augmented reality for Onshape. This is also free for 30 days. So you can simply add your designs in real world. And of course, there are a lot of apps here available for you. Another really interesting thing that is in Onshape, and this is pretty much unique to Onshape, um, is the feature scripts, and you can find them here by using this plus button from here. You can add pretty much any feature script you wish to. For instance, I would like to add some wiring to this document, and I can use a feature script for that. I can use the freeform spline and just start from the initial vertex from the center, and then add a new vertex. Okay, add the second vertex, and the second vertex will be this one. And okay, so the second vertex will be the center of this one. Okay. And I can also hide the main shaft. Thanks, Alexander, for renaming this. Okay, this one for some reason didn't take the origin. Okay, so I can use this sketch, and then the next one I can simply drag somewhere. I can also unhide the shaft and use this mate connector from here as the next point, and I can add a new vertex. And for this new vertex, the third vertex, I can use the mate connector from here, and so on. And I can hide again the main shaft, and you can see the first vertex and the second vertex, and you can play with this, and even if you just select instead of vertices, if you just select points, you can just drag the point up, for instance, in this case, and select the third point, and move them in any direction you want to. And you can create freeform splines like this and do your wiring or anything else. There's also a very cool way to create a spur gear. If I want to create a spur gear, I can simply use the spur gear. I can select the vertex where I want the spur gear to be placed, and the spur gear is already here. I can flip the side so you can see it better. And I can change pretty much anything, the number of teeth, the model, the pitch. I can add helical teeth. I can add a chamfer. I can add a center bore and a keyway, and everything will be um, available in no time. So it's really convenient to create geometry this way. I encourage you all to look for other feature scripts and try to make your life easier. Also, there's another very cool place that's called the public library. And here under the public library, you can look for pretty much anything you want to find, and you can find the go by or parts or models created by others that you can make a copy or simply use to understand how they created the geometry. And yes, so Bernard, are you with us? I don't think Bernard is with us at this point. So I will be showing you the Learning Center now. The Learning Center is a great way to whether get um, better with Onshape or learn more about Onshape or just get started with Onshape. And we have the learning pathways that I recommend to you all. Um, you can see that I completed most of them. There's the CAD basics. The CAD basics is a learning path that takes you from no level of CAD where you don't know anything about CAD to understand perfectly how CAD works and what CAD is and how the features work together. After completing this one, if you don't have any experience with CAD, I would highly recommend you to go through this. These are all on-demand videos, so they're just videos that you watch and are really cool, and you can stop at any point. There are also exercises that you need to perform. After that, the Onshape Fundamentals CAD. This is a great way to get on on track with your Onshape skills and with your Onshape design. Um, there are other resources for educators in case we have educators with us. There's a full curriculum. Intro to CAD is a full curriculum that professors can use, and it's got everything needed, including the teacher guide, slide decks for every lesson, student guide, the Onshape document that's referred to, and makes Onshape really easy and convenient to teach in class. Another really important thing and a great tool is the Help Center. So if you click this question mark next to your name and go to help, it will open this help center, and in here you can search for pretty much anything. Let's just assume that I don't remember how to share something. So I search for share, and I find here share documents, and don't mind these logos. So this is Windows, desktop, iOS, and Android. So whenever I'm searching for something, I'm shown three areas. First one is for desktop. The second one is for iOS, because you can also use your iPad or your iPhone to design, or Android device. So we pretty much concerned about desktop, and I can see here everything about sharing documents, how to share a document, how to make a copy of a document, and all the information about individual teams, companies, public, and pretty much everything. Another really cool thing that you can use at the end when your uh, product or model is finished and you're happy with it, and you just want to um, add a link, for instance, in a document, or just to show it on social media or share it with some other people, you can simply click the share button and go under link sharing, turn on link sharing, and this will actually allow anyone with this link, even if they don't have an Onshape account, to view your model, your 3D model. And I can copy this, and I think that I can paste it. um, I don't know if I can paste it in the chat here, but I will just add it to the Slack after this um, will be finished. So this allows you to share your document, your final document, with anyone from your school, or from your family, or your friends, or on social media, and so on. Again, the way to edit appearance, so you can change the appearance of a part. Let's say that I want the base plate to be green. I can edit appearance and add the green that I want to, or go for the mixer and choose from there. I can also add material. I can assign material to the base plate, and let's go for let's say that I will 3D print this, and it will be ABS, and I can see the mask properties after I have added the material. So you can get pretty much all the information about your parts. Okay, can we take any questions? Do we have any questions? Okay, so hello, is it possible to edit what your colleague is working on? Yes, so sure, it's possible to edit what he finished. So I already did that. So let's just edit one of the things that he generated. So it should be this one, and I'll just edit this one, and let's just make it 80, and I'll also want an angle here. and some dimension. You can't though edit while he's working on something. So I can't be editing his sketch while he's designing that sketch. So while he's designing that sketch, I'm unable to interact with his sketch, but I can create a different sketch. And afterwards, if I'm not happy with how it looks, I can, of course, edit anyone's design. You can also use versions and history, and I can, at any point, create a new version of this, and I can say for review, and I can create this version, and now I have this version, and at any point I can go back to this version. So now I can do pretty much anything, delete things from here, and I will just do that. So I will just delete this part that will actually break pretty much anything. That should pretty much break all the rest of the things. Sorry, I was supposed to hit delete, and I'll also delete this sketch. Okay, so it did make a lot of issues in my model, and also my assembly doesn't look correct. There's no save button in here, so I can just click ready for review and select this edit, for instance, and select restore to main. And now I'm back here. Okay, the same way goes for going back to another option, like for instance any other area in time whenever I want to go back. Okay, any other questions? Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Alexandra and Alexandro. That was really, really good. Since you're on Slack, I'm sure if any of the participants have any questions, they will definitely, I think we have one more. Please.
Okay, that's great. So how do one go about exploding the model and show the variations, the various parts with text details of each part? So there are a couple of ways to do that. If you want to create an explode, you just go here under exploded views, this button from here, add an explode view, select what you want to explode and the direction you want to explode it in. And this will be the first step. I can also click the rest of the parts and they will all go together, but they will go in the same direction, as you can see. Okay. So if I want to try to add this one in uh, each one of these in a specific direction, I would probably want to go them to take them in this direction. So up, I click OK. I'm happy with this. I can also take this one, and I can also place the connector wherever I want to. Take this like that way. I can take this part also, and it can go this way, and then I can also take it this way. And of course, this one will go like this, and also for the bolts. Okay, I have the explode view here, and now I can very easily create a drawing. If you want to add this to a drawing, I can use whether a template. Let's go for an A3 file format. I can also create my own template, and I can insert here. I will insert the assembly, so it will be assembly 1, and I can choose to get assembly 1. I can choose the view, so the view that I want it to be in, and I can choose exploded. And isometric is not something very cool for this part, so I'll just go for front. And there you go. This is an option. I think that also left would look better. So I can add something like this, and I can also add pretty much any projection of this one. So I can add a projected view of this one and use 3 projections. There you go. Also, I can add the bill of material from here. And you can see that the parts number are not here because we didn't give any parts number, but I can go in the BOM here, in the bill of material, and add a column with the name of the part. And now you can see that the names are correctly showed. Okay. Other questions?
Yep, and I think that was good.
Okay, I
Nice
hope
one.
that this will help you. Again, we're here to support you with any questions that you may have, and whenever you have any questions, please reach out to us on Slack, and we'll be more than happy to help you with that and answer any of your questions.
Awesome, awesome. Again, thank you so much, Alexandra and Alexandro. This was really, really nice. I'll probably go home now and start to use Onshape for all my designs. So also cool stuff. So thank
Okay,
you.
thank you too, and
Thank you.
we'll post the link to the document on the Slack channel. Have fun,
Awesome.
guys. Bye.
Have fun and bye bye.